Hi, it's Mindy with Astrology.by.love, here to bring you an awesome series on the moon. So we are going to go ahead, jump right in and get started. I wanted to mention a few things first. So the moon in astrology is our emotional body. It shows how we process, how we feel, contain, express, and perceive emotions. If you are born at night, then the moon expresses more frequently. So, and sometimes, a lot of times, is more important than the sun. A good celebrity example of this is Tony Robbins. So, Tony was born at night. He is a Pisces sun, which is sensitive, intuitive, feeling, and we do see that energy in Tony, but he expresses as more of an alpha male. Being born at night, he was also born when the moon was in the sign of Aries. So that is a lot of times where his alpha male energy comes from, his dynamic, go-getter, accomplishment attitude. So that's an example of a celebrity born at night. And if you two are born at night, your moon may express more than your sun, and that would be normal. The moon is also influenced by the house it is in. And the moon represents our mothers or mother figures in our life, as well as the women that we are attracted to and that we attract in. So in a man's life, the moon represents the type of woman that, once again, he is attracted to and who also embodies the energy that his moon carries. So sometimes, and a lot of times in a man's life, that moon energy comes through in the women in his life. We are also going to talk about the stars and what degrees of particular signs these stars are in, and how they affect the moon when the moon is in line with these stars. Know that when a planet or point is culminating or coming closer to a star, that energy is building. Once it passes by, it's kind of built. There's like a pressure release. It quickly lessens and then fades away. Also know that angles from other planets affect your moon as well. So as a general rule of thumb, a sextile or trine brings a planet's energy into the influence of the moon by a pleasant way. It's complementary, it works together. If the planet is in a square or opposition, then it brings that planet's energy into the moon in a frustrating and challenging way. So in the conjunction with a planet with the moon just depends on the planet. So different astrologers have different opinions on the moon's orb of influence. Some astrologers, like William Lilly, say that the moon has an influence on a planet up until 12 degrees. And I've heard other astrologers say as little as 7 degrees. Some ancient astrologers did not use degrees when making charts, and has sort of given us the impression that the entire sign to another entire sign is included in those energies. The stars influence the moon so that the nature of the moon is not lost. It just adds an extra layer of energy, a different energy. As with all energy, sometimes one is stronger than the other, but the original moon energy in that sign is still accessible on some level. Also note, not all of these star placements are fantastic. So, instead of massaging the edges of the truth, I do have to say some negative things about a few positions. Please don't shoot the messenger. There seems to be a balance of some sort in the universe. So some of these places are thought of as beneficial and others are not. Also notice some of these stars don't necessarily completely change the moon. They just amplify certain characteristics. So it may not be as much as a different thing as much, but more a characteristic is just intensified. One other point to consider is that a star has been known to influence the opposite point. So if your moon is behaving differently than the sign and there is not a star at that particular point, check the opposite zodiac and see if there is a star at that point. I don't cover that in these videos. I'm trying to make these not be super long, but I also want them to be informative. So if a star isn't there, check the other side. And for these videos, just as references, I have used Claudius Ptolemy's Tetrabiblios. I have used Vivian Robson's The Fixed Stars and Constellations and Astrology book, and also the websites astrologyking.com and constellationofwords.com. Doing research and going through all this, something I did notice was that Vivian Robson always had the most negative interpretations of the stars. And I thought, what's going on there? So I looked up his chart, and his moon is 2 degrees away from Saturn. It also has a mild square to Mars, which can readily cause a negative outlook on things. And just so you know, this astrologer that you're listening to right now, her moon is in Capricorn, which is also ruled by Saturn. So I'm going to try to keep this light and upbeat, but I do want this to be truthful and honest and also provide insight for you as well. And one last thing, please note that I have read about all of these stars multiple times. I have not necessarily had conversations with astrological scholars about each and every one of them. At the moment, I type out my readings in order to give myself time to best describe what is going on in the best possible way. So I have read and typed all of these names at one point or another. I have not necessarily spoken about them. I am not fluent in Arabic or Latin or even Chaldean. So I'm going to pronounce these names the best that I can. If I mess one up or mispronounce it, which will probably happen, and you know how to properly pronounce it, please let me know down below in the comments. I would love to learn the proper pronunciations of these names. Once again, thank you for watching, and we'll get started. One more thing. I have put the names of the stars down below in the description box next to the degree it is at, and have the time that it appears in the video right next to it. Enjoy! Aries Moon. The Aries Moon is beautifully self-loving, is concerned about oneself, and has really good boundaries when people are trying to take advantage of their kindness and generosity. The Aries Moon is impulsive emotionally, truly passionate, and courageous. A bit of a temper, and readily explodes, as well as quickly gets over it. Their emotions are ruled by Mars, so this makes sense. Needs to woo and chase after the one they want. They need a constant challenge in love to meet and overcome. If you just hand your heart to an Aries, they'll be like, hey, maybe she's not worth it. Keep that in mind. Needs to feel in control and to be admired and honored. The Aries Moon can fall in and out of love quickly. The Aries Moon mama was definitely a boss, definitely a winner, and expected that from her kiddo. The Aries Moon is passionate more than emotional. Alpha females are definitely attractive to the Aries Moon, either as lovers, friends, or work companions. The first star we come to in Aries is Kerb. It is at 1 degree and 3 minutes. The moon here is either a player and has several lovers they constantly reject, or when they they come on too strong, love too much, and can be way too aggressive. Not necessarily in a mean way, but more like baking 10 dozen cookies for the man on the first date, or showing up with 10 dozen roses for the woman on a first date as a sort of intimidating way. Aries Moon also normally makes good, wise decisions, but not so when in line with this star, and especially in regards of to whom to pursue and how to take care of them once they get them, if they get them. This is the star of the jilted lover, And remember, this could represent the women in a man's life as well. The star is not very bright and has less than a 1-degree orb. The next star in Aries is at 2 degrees in 35 minutes. It is the star Difda. This is not a fortunate placement and can cause depression and anxiety when the moon is near. The impulsiveness is still there, but at times held back by the anxiety and stress, and can cause problems due to the inability to act. Potential opportunities are not taken due to the nervousness and stress wound up in the heart. This Deneb Kaitos has just over 2-degree orb, and the further away the moon is from the star, the less its influence. This can also be the energy of a man's mother or lovers. If this energy plays out in a man's mother and lovers instead of in his psyche, this can truly frustrate an impatient and impulsive Aries moon man. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's moon, is at 3 degrees and 14 minutes of Aries, just 39 minutes away. Algenib is the next star we come to in Aries, 9 degrees, 9 minutes. This star gives the moon great ambition and abundance of confidence, sometimes called arrogance, the ability to feel surrounding energies and great peace with their decisions, even though a lot of times they are not beneficial to them. Gives notoriety, which fuels that confidence, and also destruction that fuels that Aries impulsiveness and makes them want to do it again, harder and faster. Vivian Robson has said in his book that this star gives the essence of the poor professional beggar. Interesting enough, Bill Gates has his moon less than a degree away from Algenib. So I went to Wikipedia to look up his wife, Melinda Gates, because we know that Bill Gates is not a poor professional beggar. Melinda Gates is how this energy would of a man's moon would play out. So she has written a book called The Moment of Lift, How Empowering Women Changes the World, and was quoted by Wikipedia as describing the book as saying it highlights the failure to acknowledge women's unpaid work. So that is sort of in line with the poor professional beggar. Bill and Melinda have also won an award for greatest public service for the disadvantaged, and getting women into the technology field has become a passion of Melinda's. And once again, that does not seem to be going well. Her 2016 letter from the Gates Foundation said women should spend more time doing paid work, starting businesses, or otherwise contributing to the economic well-being of societies around the world. The fact that they can't holds their family and communities back. Her passion for something that is not working and for women to stop doing unpaid work comes from Bill's moon being so close to Algenib in his natal chart. Algenib has a degree of influence of 2 degrees. Next in line is Alderamin. Alderamin's at 12 degrees, 47 minutes of Aries. This is another star that can bring depression to a normally vibrant Aries moon. This star brings about a melancholy nature where one notices flaws and problems more readily and feels sadness, remorse, stress, and a general overall depression due to being constantly confronted with all the imperfections in the world. A more gentle yet easily disturbed emotional makeup is present when the moon is conjunct Alderamin. It has an orb of just under 2 degrees. At 14 degrees and 18 minutes of Aries is the star Alpheratz. This is great. This is like having Venus and Jupiter conjunct your moon. Very lucky. Positive emotions are just natural with this placement, and the expectation of good favor with people brings it. People are drawn to Aries moon when it is close to this star, and just like them, and they don't know why. Confidence, kindness, and positivity are on the inside with this placement, and men with this placement are going to be the ones to get the women everyone else wants. Awards and honors come easily to this Aries moon placement. This placement also shows a wonderful, beautiful, kind, loving mother figure in the chart holder's life. This placement has just over a 2-degree orb. Angelina Jolie has her moon just over a degree away from Alpheratz. Baten Kaitos is the next star, 21 degrees, 48 minutes of Aries. This is not a great placement and brings about depression, which leads to isolation in an Aries moon. This also makes one super sensitive to other people's blunders, whether harm was meant or not. Prone to accidents and even shipwrecks, the stress and sadness from constantly being the victim results in a constant melancholy, oh woe is me sort of state. In a man's chart, this can also show women who are depressed and unlucky, and the native's mother figure would have had struggles with depression and unfair accidents involving her as well. The star has about 1.5 degrees of influence. At 23 degrees and 16 minutes of Aries is Acamar. This is quite a fortunate moon placement, so we're back to good. The one whose moon is in line with Acamar lives life under a measure of God's grace. This is one who is at peace and appears to be blessed by God. If negatively aspected, they may only appear to be peaceful, but their emotions and soul are aligned with the divine. This is an excellent placement for a politician or a priest, someone who would feel at home and comfortable in a higher position trying to live out spiritual ideals. The moon in this placement would also indicate a spiritual mother and or spiritual lover for a man. A blessed placement, but not so strong, at about 1.5 degree orb. Next in Aries is at 26 degrees and 49 minutes is Pherg. Pherg is this placement of the moon in front of Pherg brings steady yet positive emotions, as well as the mental discipline to stick with something, be loyal to it or with a person in order to win big. Unless poorly aspected or other negatives in the chart, this moon placement near Pherg brings about good decisions and romantic relationships that last and stand the test of time. Emotions with this moon get sweeter and sweeter as time goes on. Not a very bright star though, and only has about a 1 1/3 degree orb. The next star is called Vertex. I do believe I did pronounce that one right. Vertex. So 27 degrees and 51 minutes. It does have the same name, unfortunately, as the center of the universe. But here, this is an actual star, and it actually refers to a galaxy billions of light years away that appears like a star in the night to the naked eye. Its energy has a 1 1/3 degree orb. When the moon is in line with the star or the galaxy billions of light years away called Vertex, then anger issues abound. Obsession, envy, paranoia, and OCD are also afflictions the emotional moon attached to this star has to deal with. The energy may play out with a mother or lover with these issues as well. Kamala Harris, the Vice President of the United States, was born when the moon was at 27 degrees and 39 minutes of Aries, just 12 minutes away from the star Vertex. And lastly, we have the star Alrisha. Alrisha is at 29 degrees and 23 minutes of Aries. This star shows leadership capabilities, self-assurance, and an intuitive knowing about the future and what they are called to do. What they are called to do is to bless those, and this star blesses those with their moon 1.5 degrees away from this star. The native with the moon here has a knack for unifying and leading people. Bravery and courage is also ingrained in the natives whose moon is in line with Alrisha. So just a rundown of celebrities with their moons in Aries. We have Angelina Jolie at 13 degrees 5 minutes, Rihanna at 11 degrees 7 minutes, Bill Gates at 8 degrees 15 minutes, Tupac Shakur at 2 degrees and 54 minutes. We've got Selena Gomez, 25 degrees 8 minutes, Bernie Sanders at 19 degrees 25 minutes, Pink, 18 degrees, 21 minutes. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is at 3 degrees and 14 minutes. Kamala Harris is at 27 degrees and 39 minutes. Thank you for hanging out with me today and learning about the Aries moon and all the stars in the section of Aries and how it affects the moon. I appreciate it and hope you enjoyed it. Bye.